Evening, people. Welcome back to X Mutant of the Day. We're looking at another three Arsenal tweets of pure delusion. And in at number three, without further ado, is this what I know is AI, it's ChatGPT written, but it's to illustrate a wider point that there are actually real humans who say this. But this Marwan AI guy, representative of one of the main points of delusion that are fundamental in keeping Arteta at the club, or one of the main ones anyway. Quote, trophies are sweet, but it's how you compete that matters. Arsenal's rise against financial giants is the real achievement. Now, yes, this is clearly AI, okay, ChatGPT, like I say there. However, there are many real humans that say this. And the point of me bringing this up is to show you that this is one of those things that's regarded as a success. So when people want to talk about, people like us in our community talk about trophies, and trophies being the barometer really truly of what a successful club is, especially a club like Arsenal, by the way. This is another thing that ties in with the whole people don't view us as a big club anymore type thing. Saying success is being able to compete against someone like Man City, the oil money as people put it. That is just another excuse to keep Arteta in a job. That is just another excuse that the fandom, the stands, are using. They're saying oil money, of course. Oil money from the Emirates, right? The sponsor of our stadium. Yes, I know Fly Emirates isn't an oil company as such, but just track it back to the original owners. Just track it back to the original trillion-dollar industry that created the company that then branched off with Fly Emirates. So we take oil money too. So that's why this had to be kind of pointed out as the absolute nonsense that it is. Okay, on to number two, and here we have Kai Havertz, one of the greatest players ever to play for Arsenal, I'm told, but yeah, that's, let's just say, a subjective opinion and is not rooted in any sort of baseline, fundamental, decent objectivity. Adam Keys is in at number two with this, and I quote, Kai Havertz has shown huge value alongside Victor Gyökeres this season. A return against Chelsea is massive. It gives Arsenal an out ball to play over the press and brings a level of physicality that we otherwise lack. Plus, he loves a goal against them. Now, not everything he's saying there is delusional nonsense, but I would question, by the way, this guy's got 37,000 followers, 37,000. And that's a reach that a lot of people, a lot more people than that are going to see this. But he has shown huge value alongside Victor Gyökeres. He's hardly fucking played with him. He's played with him, a couple of times? He's given him a couple of passes. You could say that it's more promising than having Odegaard in there. I would fully agree with that. That is the state that we're in, that having Havertz in over Odegaard, our captain, our supposedly talismanic leader, is a preferable option. That's the craziness of it all. Kai Havertz is preferable to keep in versus the Arsenal club captain. I mean, when you deep it, it's absolute craziness. But yes, Elmer has said here in the replies as well, Havertz has been brilliant this season. Like, what are you on about? I think that must be another AI bot type thing as well, because what's he about? He's been injured most of this season. We all know why he's been injured. He's not likely to ever come back for any stretch of games. Unfortunately, like him or loathe him, Havertz has been broken by this manager, and I don't want Havertz at the club. I think he's properly overpaid, and I think we're going to have problems getting rid of him, especially now that he seems injury prone, which is our fault. But at the end of the day, he's still better than having Odegaard in there. And that's an absolutely damning indictment to this regime that we're under at the moment. So now obviously people can say, well, what do you mean it's a regime that we're under at the moment? We're still competing on all four fronts. It's a regime because look at what is happening. It's a regime for a few reasons, but primarily in this context, it's a regime because look at what is happening to all the players with the injuries. Timber, Rice will probably be the next ones to go. We've got players who are getting recurring injuries and people are wondering why. Even our manager has come out and said he was surprised. I don't know if he really meant that or if it was just something that, you can't always be perfect when you're talking on a press conference, even though he's paid a lot of money, all that kind of stuff. But I mean, it seemed like a very odd thing to say, given the fact that this guy has been injured for most of the season and the end of last season. So for them to turn around and say that they were surprised is a bit odd. Anyway, speaking of odd, let's move on to the last one. The numero uno of the day. This is from AFC. Hey, why? Hey, why did you put this? Why did you put this? Well, I know why you put it. You put it for views, but you only got 2,031 of them, so it's not that successful. Quotes. As it stands now, Mikel Arteta has surpassed Jose Mourinho to claim the crown as London's top boss. I mean, shit, do you really want me to continue reading? The Arsenal manager now boasts the highest win percentage of any coach to have taken charge of 20 plus Premier League London derbies. Great. That's something I'm going to tell the children, isn't it? That's something I'm going to tell my children. We might not win any trophies whatsoever, but at least in 20 years' time, I can tell little Billy, little Hannah, I can tell them both, oh, you know, I was there. I was there when Arteta had the highest win percentage against London derbies. Yeah, that's what matters. That's what matters to fans. But this is the thing, right? This is the key point. This is what matters to a lot of Arsenal fans because we don't have anything else. In the absence of any actual trophy success, in the absence of any, historical record-making success, we have to go to shit like this. So he has put out to his 6,644 followers this stat nonsense, this statistical nonsense. It may obviously be technically accurate statistically, but it's nonsense in the context of trying to push this to prove that he's a better, more successful manager than Jose Mourinho, who came into Chelsea and won 2 Premier League titles, an FA Cup, 2 League Cups in the space, I think also a Super Cup as well. I might be missing a trophy out as well, in the space of 3 years. So we're now on 7 years. Arteta's got 1 FA Cup. He's now going to need to win another FA Cup. He's going to need to win the Carabao Cup final this season, plus another 2 Carabao Cups and 3 Premier Leagues to actually be better than Jose Mourinho. For people in the future who are actually going to use proper metrics, e.g. historical trophy win records, that's what they're going to judge our past success on, how big a club we are, not the fact that he's got some higher win percentage, not the fact that he's won more games in his first 200 games than Wenger and than George Graham and more than Herbert Chapman and all this kind of stuff, which apparently also proves that he's the best Arsenal manager that we've ever had. It is so fucking strange, man. It is so strange to me, but I think what it is a lot of the time is that people are just clinging on. They're so invested. It's like there's a bodybuilder called Mike O'Hearn, right? Mike O'Hearn is very famous for being a non-natural bodybuilder, but he claims he's natural. He's always claimed he's natural, and he has to keep that claim going. So this is what it's a bit like with the Top Gooners. They have to keep the claim going that Arteta's the best manager in the world, because year upon year they say it and we don't win anything, and they have no proof. They have no clout, like no actual physical clout to back up their evidence, so to back up their claims. So they have to come up with statistics like this and like the calendar year table and all that kind of nonsense. So AFC, hey, why? Once again, hey, why did you do this? Because you take the gold medal today, man. You take the gold medal. You're the #1 delusional tweet of the day today, you absolute mutant. I'll see you next time, people. Peace, 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 peace.